Hello, I'm Manakyn. Welcome to the stream, you absolute numpty. Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Hey, how's it going, Randy? How's it going, Bowser? How's it going, Kiyoma? Sorry I'm a little bit late. Randy says, a bit rude to put me knife in me chest, innit, bruv? So I did a 5-minute intensive on the Cockney accent right before I got here. So I will tell you guys what I learned. First of all, my lips are currently centered. That's wrong. You move your bottom lip over to this side, so you talk like this. Next, the words like greater and harder and stronger. You have to emphasize the end of the word, so greater, harder, stronger. So I'm officially from Cockney. I look funny like that. Hey, what are you talking about? You absolute plonker. How you guys doing? What up, wankers? About to shove a bow of woe down your bum. I spent so much time working on this accent right here, which is the received pronunciation of London. So I've been working so hard on the received pronunciation of London that I didn't realize that a lot of British people don't like this accent. This is called the received pronunciation, but a lot of British, they find this like the poshish accent, which is kind of like almost upper class accent, which, you know, there are a lot of normal people in London who talk like this, but a lot of the East End and Londoners, they actually dislike this accent. So I've spent the past 6 months learning an accent that will get everyone to hate me. So whoop-de-doo. So, yes. How you guys doing, by the way? Yeah, so I'm still practicing my British. I'm a little bit afraid. I haven't met with my accent coach for a little while. But, yeah. I'm afraid that my accent's going to slowly fall apart, so hopefully it doesn't fall apart. But I think I'm doing okay. Do I sound British? For all you British people in the chat, none of you right now. You're playing Thousand Year Door. Isn't it such a good game? Isn't it such a freaking good game? Anyway, speaking of Thousand Year Door, we're not doing anything to do with Thousand Year Door. We're doing we're doing Ace Attorney. So we're playing some Ace Attorney, and we've just met Gina Lestrade, who is a 17-year-old orphan girl. And the Irish gentleman, what's his name? Magnus McGilded. And yeah, so we are going to be trying to prove him innocent. I mean, we're kind of halvesies. We're kind of going back and forth right now, up and down. So we're going to see if we can get this guy off scot-free. Well, maybe not scot-free. Maybe he might have to get charged for loan sharking, which by the way is perfectly legal. So he did nothing wrong. But maybe we'll our job is. Why is there a buzzing sound? Give me a moment. Well, whatever. But our job is to get him off of for murder. Off for murder, right? But nothing about theft and whatnot. So you know what, as long as we can succeed in this particular case and we can become a lawyer by strong hearts thingamajiggy, sure. Anyway, let's play some Ace Attorney, guys. All right, so last time Oompa Loompa Danny, yes, that's exactly who I mean. So last time we demonstrated that there is a possibility that the man who died actually died on the roof and then fell through the floor. I forgot to take my vitamins. Let's take some vitamins. Always have extra vitamin C, guys. Actually, don't have extra vitamin C. That's called hypervitaminosis, and that could actually cause problems. I don't know what problem. It won't kill you, as far as I understand. I'm super all over the place. Let's play Ace Attorney. Somebody pointed out that Fairplay has the Wario mustache. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see the thing? Can you guys hear me? Is it okay? Here we go. Wait, what was his accent? He had a more sin. Just what exactly are you insinuating here? You blitherer! What the? We'll just stay here for a little bit. What is this guy doing? You rotter! He said! You rotter! What are you insinuating? This is a flaming outrage. I have a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. A blinker? A blinker? Is that like a black eye? See, I know my British slang. I have a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. Oh. He'll give you a shadow in a minute, he said, and so will I! Mr. Fairplay! You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker. And me, a very angry hatter! Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right. I protest too about you rotten scoundrel. Let's go, McGilded. Order. Wait, he's not Southern too. So you're saying he's a mad hat? He is a mad hat, exactly. Order! This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of my stand. Return to the anteroom Return to the anteroom at once. But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. I never intended to... It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight on the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British court of laws, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. Fairplay was about to rock out, man. I know it was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. Or, bruv, what are we wasting time for? Get them to testify! I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, We must dispose of it at once. Not you, darling, though, but we will never... My heart is pure and clean for... Juror number 2. Testify! 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 What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo? The spectators from the public gallery, they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord. My lord. My lord. I like switching through. I am switching between like 19 different accents right now. I freaking apologize. That's so hard. You will take the stand. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. Let go! Come on, McGilded! Let's go! Big, strong... Wait, I guess he's not that big. Little, strong man! There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Okay, okay, so this is the goal. We get McGilded scot-free, or at least scot-free for murder, so that, first of all, we can, adopt Gina. Look at her, she's freaking adorable. Look at this little baby. Oi, I ain't no baby. I'm a full-grown man. and then after that, we can rub it in Lord Van Zeek's face. I don't know. Lord Van Zeek doesn't seem that bad. She's not as bad as Ouchie, at least. All I can do is keep pushing forward, except for the part where he put his foot on the table. That was a little bit rude. Refuting the accusation. So, interestingly enough, in theory, these guys are not on trial. Fundamentally, I am not making any formal accusation, am I? Which is kind of like a screwing with the law a little bit. But I don't know. he's like Edgeworth's like evolution. Like when you use a legal stone on Edgeworth, you get Lord Van Zeek's. We were the only 2 people on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that. If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us would know the first thing about that victim. We had no reason to kill the man. Yeehaw, cowboy! He really is Southern. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't have possibly opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to the testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine. Well, they literally said, yeah, you can't prove it. Which, I mean, is a reasonably good defense. I mean, although we're not actually formally accusing them of anything. It's not our job to accuse anyone. It's the prosecution's job. It's just our job to disprove by proving, which is very strange because in theory we don't have to prove it. The legal system is hard. No either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although, logically, of course, the argument falls down if the 2 of you were in collusion with one another. Yeah, that's right, typer lady. I love her. She is very, very... Can we have 2 waifus? The maid has a more round face, and the typer has a long face. According to the investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Why does he feel uneasy? I mean, we're in a situation where we've brought up a possible alternate explanation, right? Like I said, our job is simply to demonstrate that the prosecution doesn't have enough proof to convict, right? So if things are going in your favor and you're afraid things will turn around, we don't have to worry so much about things turning around. All that matters is that we demonstrate that it's difficult to completely have faith in the prosecution's argument, right? So even if things like don't go exactly as planned, as long as we can demonstrate that there is a possibility that these two have some sort of malicious intention, I think we're okay. Of course, this is Ace Attorney, and nothing ever goes the defense's way. Okay, we were only 2 people on the roof that day. Hold it! So at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not. Dickin. Wait, what, a dickin? Absolutely no dicking. Oh yeah. They're after me, Lucky Charm. You good, Gina? Gina hasn't really said anything. She's just been trying to hide her face. No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course, I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim enclosed in the cabin talking with the man here. Is this true, Mr. McGilden? No, he was sleeping. Dear me, my lord, at the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off on the inside almost immediately. That is an outright lie. Without doubt, you were engaged in... Let me stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? That's right. Let the lawyers do the talking. And the rich, right? We don't need no bankers who can't afford their own frickin' moolah. Buddy, pay up. It is all about evidence in this court these days, so it is. You do well to remember that. That's right. Sit down, fair play. Sit down. I love these two, now that they're falling apart. Oh, man. I can't wait for them to break down. What was it? In theory, we've only ever been to one other court. Like, we've only had one other court case in this game. We had the whole, Pavlova incident, but we didn't actually have, like, and the only thing that happened was, Jezail Brett's swan, like, started laying eggs. We didn't have a, like, what is his name? Unguards bringing out the wine. I'm actually from Ohio, losers. It's going so well. If anything happened, one of us would have noticed. Well, wasn't the final run on the omnibus. Past 10 o'clock at the evening. You guys were probably tired. It would have certainly been quite dark. Too dark to see clearly. Is this some kind of lock? Is this some kind of joke, he said? This is what is this? Or perhaps one of you fell asleep briefly. Oh, you fat dinkums. Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'd give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in that bitter cold. No, you will literally fall asleep and die. No, it's very easy to fall asleep in the cold. And if you managed it, and if you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut and you'd never open them again. That's kind of extreme. It was extreme, I tell you. We had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. A true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with my fairies and didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass. You were talking to someone. Now. It was a cold night, it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the cold. 'Tis hardly surprising. Saying things! I believe we have reached an impasse here on this particular point. Yo. Don't take it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then 'tis only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what a capitalist society is all about! Ha ha! Yeah, that's right, capitalism, baby! No. This isn't a competition I would like to get involved in, really. In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. Hold it! So, you never met thrice-fired Mason before? Oh, Loom! No, not once, never. He never met the man before, he said never! And you, Mr. First, no prior dealings? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remote connection with... Is that so? Neither of you have the remote connection, huh? Excuse me. Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing for you? The witness's last statement gave you pause for thought. Not the remoteless connection. Is that right now, I wonder? What are you insinuating now? Ah, Mr. Fairplay. It has been too long, so it has. If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date. Oh, maybe bankers shouldn't be taking out loans, I beg your pardon! You borrowed 20 guinea pigs from me, sir! But at an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me, it is extortion! You should have read the fine print, sir! Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off to another! And the young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there's top hat sliding on your head? Is that one of your own creations? Well, wait, I'm just an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, it is a very distinctive design, so it is... He is not. He's not gonna try to associate that hat for the one he made. Oh my, no. Many customers like it, I tell you. There's a distinctive touch. Customers, such as thrice-fired Mason. Ah! There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence for, my lord. Oh. Cotton 4K, cotton black and white photographic print, baby. Oh no, they even had color. Caught in glass panel photographic print, baby. Hey, Sad Godtail, it's been a while. I can't help but thinking the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar. Wouldn't you say? I love how McGilded's essentially saying, man, that guy looks poor. Just like the types of hats you make. Caught in 16mm. I'm not even sure 16mm existed yet. That's... It is one of his hats. Oops! Aye, it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer I'd wager you could have a wee quarrel over the distinctiveness of the goods. No, sir, absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here have the remote disconnection to the victim, you see. Cool. Oi, that's a bloody good anime pose, Mr. McGilded, sir. You like the McGilded voice? I rest my case. You little weasel. He's better at this than I am. Mr. McGilded has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he? The Lucky Charms, they're mine! Please don't let me little interruptions hold up the proceedings. It's over, guys. It's over. Just give up. Just give up. It's freaking over. See, all I needed to do was help. All I needed to do was set up Mr. McGilded with the left jab, and then he comes in for the uppercut. Bam, bam. Hold it. Are you quite certain about that? The skylight was shut the entire time. I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's gonna lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he's saying. Go on, take a look for yourself. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on the other night. Yeah, but so it is, of course. A fella the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it, still and all. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you'll understand. Now hold you there a minute, sir. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let us consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? Plastic's really expensive. I was riding on the omnibus on another occasion when I broke wind loudly. Why is this relevant? This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. No, well, I just mean to say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. Just my luck. I couldn't make it budge. Stench was terrible. Wait, what? Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as a rogue, I did. Everything in Ace Attorney is relevant. Are you expecting me to sentence you? No, sir. The point is, Skylight can't be open. I tried and tried when I was inside the cabin of shame. Oh? Oh?
Excuse me.
Look at her, she's adorable! Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, it's so weird! I will never get used to the fact that Lestrade is a freaking teenager. Okay, Cockney accent practice time. Mento! Oh, mento! Okay, I'm ready. Miss Lestrade! Miss Lestrade! It opens. The skylight. That is what we're talking about, right? I got a gun. That takes forever to load. All them skylights open. Easily. More easily than you can load that weapon. It's a lie, I'll tell you. Otherwise, when I broke in, Oi, you can't do it from the inside, you mug! Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was set up on the roof on one of these drags. And I had a great awe. I mean, I had bursts coming out of my ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Oh, well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lived the last bloke's purse, he got wise with me. All four of them surrounded me so I couldn't up off the bus and leg it. So what I did was, I used a skylight. Open, catch, and jump right through. What? Yeah! The catch bomb skylight's on the top side. That's why you can't open them from a cabin. Skylight opens with a roof deck? Bailiff! Climb up onto the roof. Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus and at once and verify this witness' claims. Let's go! Oh, my hat! Oi! See? Blake Plonker! Order! So it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. Skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo, this could be the clue we were looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So the skylight opens. I should investigate for myself. All right, look through for myself. Examine. First, let's go inside. Let's see what we got. Alright, so first of all, we know there's a blood stain down there. And up here, we can try to open the skylight. So the catch for the skylight's on the top side. Yes, but it's not fastened at the moment, so we can slide it open from here. Alright. Oh! 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 Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone you like through. Certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? What? What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. Without a doubt, someone was eating fish and chips up here. The ketchup. It's blood. Why would there be blood stained here? Ah! It can't be unrelated to the case, can it? Uh-oh! Oh!
Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. Immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts. And irrefutable proof. Remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. Is he gonna pull an Edgeworth? Actually, that omnibus is outdated. That's a humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. Oh no, you can. I mean, we didn't do it. I tell you, it's impossible. Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel. Why is he? The judge is changing accents every minute. Counsel. Hey, counsel. How's it going? You want to give me that evidence? I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here. Where exactly within the omnibus is the evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell through the skylight. Oh? Oh, hold on. Autoplay. Yes. Yes, blood. Oh my god, you guys talk so much. Okay, Naruhodo. I almost called him Naruto. Narutodo. Got it! By Jupiter! Is that blood? This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through it. Oh my! So it follows. Mr. McKilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of the crime! Let's go! Hey, Mr. B. Order!
Hold it!
But the blood could have been sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin! And only found its way to one particular spot on the skylight. Oh, sure. That would be very convenient. And let's keep in mind that the skylight can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it, now would I? There's no way, no for certain, is there? The jet really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? Tis all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there. So it is. What? But it can't be. It's all lies.
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we?
I believe we can. Yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in the courtroom.
Hell yeah. And it's not me either, because, you know, my love for you is pure. My simping has never been... Shut up. So they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? God dang, girl. Dang, girl, I'd hire you for my secretary any day. I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us the delightful bar couldn't have done such a thing. Why am I southern all of a sudden?
On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would be you'll be referring to now, Lord Van Zakes? A blood stain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void. Wait, is he seriously about to say that evidence is illegal because it hasn't been submitted to? Are they seriously going to bring up legal practices now? I can submit evidence whenever I want, but you... I swear to God, if he says that evidence has not been submitted in discovery, I swear to freaking God. I swear to freaking God. Kazuma-sama, save me. For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What? What are you talking about? It's right there!
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. Well, Mr. Van Zeeks, whose fault is that? Is it my fault? Am I the one who presents evidence in this case? Am I the one who presents presents the case in order to indict the defendant? No, it's not my fault. Maybe if you hadn't missed the bloodstain, your case wouldn't be so dumb now, would it? But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session... Well, how convenient for you! What the palaver! I must say I didn't expect such a crude reasoning from the prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks! I'ma use the blood to paint me red balloons! But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fella known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved with is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? Well, do you have proof of that, boy? Boy? Do you have proof of that? Boy? I won't stand for the slander in my courtroom, boy. What is happening to me? I am so upset right now. You do not realize how upset I am. It is literally his job to ensure that the facts don't get adapted. And he's all like, well, it's your fault. No. Why don't you do your job, Mr. Van Zeeks? Am I having multiple personalities right now? No, yes, no, yeah. When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut, Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? No, because it's literally his job to get the evidence and the facts straight, and if the evidence gets tampered with, it's kind of your fault, Lord Van Zeeks. What do you want? I mean, it's the tamperer's fault too, but we don't have any proof that he did any tampering. Bro, no, I'm not saying he didn't do tampering. No, this is actually me in defense of freaking McGilded at the moment, right? I don't know. I have no proof that Mr. McGilded did anything. What I do have proof of, well, it's not really proof, but I do have, is that you're saying that someone tampered with the evidence, and it's your job to ensure that the evidence doesn't get tampered with. So what the frick do you want me to do about it, Lord Van Zeeks? What the frick, man? Like, I don't even give a damn if he did any tampering right now. What I care about is Lord Van Zeeks is like, oh, someone else do my job for me. No, you do not. I have put up with this for 3.5 games of freaking prosecutors blaming the defense for not doing the prosecutor's job. No, this doesn't get to happen for a 4th game. I think it's fair to say this all sounds like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? Oh. Looks like somebody's finally learning his place. Oh, that's right, Lord Van Zeeks. But if you will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus had been there in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time the court has been in session. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it's not my responsibility to answer this question. Objection? This is you're literally asking the defense to incriminate themselves. It's not my job to answer this question. Is it possible? Anything is possible! If you're asking if someone could have tampered with the omnibus during the trial, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Do you think somehow someone could have tampered with the omnibus during the smoke session? Maybe. Sure. It's possible. Is it likely? No, I don't think it's likely. It is possible. No, it's not my responsibility to answer this question. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You've fallen silent. I want to say that it's out of the question. I mean, it has to be, doesn't it? But for some reason, I can't bring myself to say it. But the omnibus has been in full view of everyone. It's out of the question that someone could have tampered with it. You don't think? That's right, Susato. I don't think. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is whether or not the prosecution can prove it. You can simply say, I have no opinion on the matter. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best. Exactly! It's your job to demonstrate whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to convict. You're doing your job. You're not saying that this guy did or didn't do anything. It's not your job to decide whether or not this guy has tampered with evidence or not. Your job is simply to see whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to convict. And if he doesn't have enough evidence to convict, you simply say there's not enough evidence. But still, there's something even more important at stake here. Like your best friend's spirit wanting you to be a defense attorney? There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. Ryunosuke, stop this. In terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged... I swear to God. Here's the thing, right? People might argue, well, isn't it unethical if I think there's a possibility and I don't state it? Right? No. For me, my belief is this. If there is a possibility and the prosecution doesn't state it, he's the one not doing his job. Right? My job is simply to act as an advocate for whether or not the defense can be considered to be guilty based on the evidence that was presented by the prosecution, right? If someone is not doing their job, I cannot be responsible for taking over, right? There's a difference between like unethical defense attorneys and defenses and just expecting me to do both jobs. The person who does both jobs, who tries to put all the evidence together, those are the detectives. Then they put it to the prosecution to demonstrate that the evidence is correct, and then it's up to the defense to it's up to the defense to demonstrate whether or not there is enough evidence to convict. And generally, the defense is trying to demonstrate that there isn't enough evidence to convict, which is not the same thing as saying he's innocent. Right? So if you're not going to do my job, you can't expect me to do your job for you. Duh! Oh.
Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel! No, explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention from running from this deceit. I am not trying to deceive anyone! That's like, do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? That's like saying like, oh, you didn't see your friend last night. Is it possible your friend was murdering someone? And if you say no, it's like, well, that's a lie, because it actually is possible, because you don't know if they were murdering someone or not. It's like, oh, that is such a loaded question. This is the reason why the defense has rights, because prosecution can do this. Ah!
Deceit!
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness in the stand, Gina Lestrade. Oi! What you gonna do about it? What's going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff! Don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of all smoke and chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the Omni. Why are you indicting your own client, Ryunosuke? I swear to God. I swear. Please. Please, Ryunosuke. Why are you indicting your own client right now? Please. Yes. It's also possible that Van Zeeks murdered 7 people during that recess, but that doesn't mean he's guilty. I swear to God. I swear.
Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger? I'ma turn you into me Lucky Charms!
Feckless. Gouger?
You're supposed to be defending me! 'Tis a wicked plot! A plot to undermine me, so it is!
And also, by the way, I suspect, so there are actually laws about this. It's very possible that in this case, if the judge is familiar with the law, or if the judge is ethical, or if McGilded is familiar enough with the law, they can advocate. They can call for a mistrial. They can argue that that McGilded doesn't actually have a defense attorney, or what is it? Every defendant is entitled to an attorney, but I think, don't quote me on this, but I think in theory McGilded can call for a mistrial and claim that he doesn't actually have a valid attorney, or something like that. There's some sort of law like that, right? He doesn't have valid representation, because if he goes to trial without valid representation, then the trial itself is not a valid trial, or not a fair trial. So I don't know if that law existed right now, but in theory, McGilded might be able to just throw out the entire case based on Ryunosuke's ethical actions. I don't know if that's true at the moment in like the 1850s, but...
Objection!
Whatever you think it is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus.
Inconsistencies? Such as? Start with the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. Rear. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. Suddenly the judge began, no one is able to corroborate your claim. Suddenly he's Irish now. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw it fit to verify such things.
What do you think? Sorry? You know, I don't know what the statute of limitations or like how long trials are allowed to go on in Ace Attorney. In Phoenix Wright it was 3 days, right? But in this game, I don't know. But Van Zeeks, if he was smart, couldn't he call the investigators from Scotland Yard as a witness? I mean, he'd probably have to register them, so it'd take like another few days. But he could certainly call the investigators of Scotland Yard as a witness in order to verify the evidence has been tampered with, right? Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Not my job. Not my job, Susato. If I'm honest, I don't remember what I examined when I went in that omnibus. Can't verify this either way. My lord, at this moment in time, the defense can... You are destroying me, Susato. Please. Susato, please! A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. Ace Attorney fans when they're given the illusion. Like, don't get me wrong. There are defense attorneys who are clearly deceitful and clearly manufacturing things and twisting things and warping how people like, and warping like how things should be interpreted that are like, that stray from the facts. This is not the case. I'm simply saying there currently isn't enough evidence. Right? My job is to demonstrate whether or not there is enough evidence, right? There are people who clearly, like, will purposefully state the wrong things. I'm not doing that. I'm simply saying we don't have enough evidence. Like, I never actually examined the skylight, right? I do remember that there was stuff inside the little compartment, but I cannot guarantee that it was McGilded or the little maggot. No, I just called Lestrade a maggot. I cannot verify that it was McGilded or the maggot or Lestrade there, right? Who actually did that? When he asked me, was there actually a thing? My response would have been, I cannot verify. It's like there's a difference, but It's like if we actually see McGilded murdering someone, and then we say, "Oh no, he didn't murder anyone. He's innocent." It's like that would be blatantly like blatant like, you know, perjury. But that's not what we're saying at all. Mr. Susato, what are you doing? I examined the omnibus with you, don't forget. There's something that seems out of place compared to how the carriage looked originally. That's what we need to identify now.
What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare to betray me, maggot, I'ma steal all your hot shots and horseshoes! Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
McGilded, I'd just like to point out, it was Susato who said this. It wasn't me. I didn't say anything. You can count on me, Mr. McGilded. Don't worry. Speaking of which, I charge about 20 guineas a day. So if you want let me know if you want me to be your personal lawyer. I'm always there to help you out. I'm just saying, 20 guinea pigs a day. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? You're supposed to believe what the evidence leads you to.
I shall ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark you claim appeared at some point during this trial?
Why am I getting penalized for this? What the frick is this right here? Why am I getting... It was Susato! This is why you don't bring your daughter to work. I assume they mean this. This bloodstain right here. Let's indict our own... Let's indict our own client.
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell... Why am I British all of a sudden? If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor... I swear to God, Ryunosuke, it is not your job to do this. You are not being unethical if you say the defense has no opinion on this, because it's literally the prosecution's job. It's literally the prosecution's job.
Good Lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue.
I believe that the bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether or not that evidence is genuine or whether or not it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to at least there is one possibility that the evidence is... It is literal... I cannot believe Ryunosuke right now is saying... he is effectively saying... this is my argument. By the way, it could be wrong. I cannot believe this. I can't believe this. I don't believe it. Oh my god. This hurts. This hurts so bad. He's taking advantage of Ryunosuke as a beginner. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Look at him. You made his toupee go sideways.
This trial is over!
Oh, wow. Your client is angry? Why? Wow, what a shock. This is so surprising that Mr. McGilded, your client, is upset with you for saying that every argument you've made for him could be wrong.
I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it's all over now.
But you're the defendant!
'Tis over, I tell ye! Memory, recollection. What people think they saw, it's all nonsense. Facts are what count, and the fact is that bloodstain is there now.
Well, I can't believe this. I'm totally with him. I'm totally with McGilded. All people lie. All people misremember things. All people make deception. Well, who is it? Halara Nightmare, my darling. She's the one who said all people lie. All people misremember.
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all! I'm scandalized, so I am! I thought better of Lord Van Six! Well, my lord! I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. Stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular blood stain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method on which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lord... You won the trial, Ryunosuke. You won the trial, and you did it legally. You didn't deceive anyone. You didn't... Your conscience should be like the cleanest one here. That's not even a joke. No. That's not the issue. That is the issue. It is the prosecution's job to prove it. It is not your job, Ryunosuke. If you want to be a prosecutor, be a prosecutor. But you cannot be both a prosecutor and a defense attorney at the same time. There are literally reasons why that is not a thing. It's because it is incredibly unethical, Ryunosuke. Please just listen to me, Ryunosuke. This hurts. I am going to say right now, if you advocate against freaking McGilded, Ryunosuke, you're trying to be ethical, but in the process of trying to be ethical, you are being incredibly unethical. This hurts. Let's forget the only reason Phoenix could not do this against On Guard was because, what was it? On Guard could have killed Maya. Right? But I mean, that was a very different case, right? This is a legal case. This is a legal case, right? This here, Ryunosuke's case, is a legal case, right? Phoenix Wright with Unguard, that I don't consider that a legal case. I consider that a kidnapping case. Those two things are very different. That was a hostage situation. This is just a legal case. You, by betraying your client's trust, you are fundamentally doing the most unethical thing, Ryunosuke. You're trying to be ethical, and in the process being incredibly unethical. This is why, by the way, a lot of people dislike defense attorneys. A lot of people dislike defense attorneys because the ethics is very specific in the case of defense attorneys. Right? A lot of people say, oh, you want to be a defense attorney? You want to defend guilty people? It's like, that's not the point. The point isn't to defend guilty people or defend the people you think are suspicious or the people who might have done something wrong. The point is to give them a fair trial. And it's very difficult to understand the difference between defending guilty people and giving guilty people a fair trial. Ryunosuke, please, just let this go. You are doing your job. You did it legally. You did it ethically. You have done nothing wrong. Your conscience should be absolutely clear. Please, Ryunosuke, please.
Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position?
It's like, what is it? The Unguard case was, I really liked the Unguard case because Phoenix Wright was very clearly lying. That, you know, by the way, going back to the Unguard case with Mystery, also, how's it going, Mystery? So what Mystery brought up was the Unguard case, which was where Phoenix Wright was clearly lying, right? There were, like, he was clearly bringing up points that he knew weren't true, which I really liked that because the game forced you to do it, which I thought was really cool. You're actually taking the point of something incredibly unethical. You're actually taking the perspective of something incredibly unethical and applying your skills to do that. And I thought that was a really cool case because, you know, you're forced to do bad things. Like, I mean, it's not really that related to this case. It's more of like, you know, in the Unguard case, like, you have to be unethical in order to, you know, allow the hostage to survive. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why that's one of my favorite cases, because it is such a twisted way to, you know, view. You get to see the idea of the defense attorney from the actual unethical point of view, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, besides the point, Ryunosuke, you are being ethical. This guy here would have also dropped the case had he had any time to investigate. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's very possible that Ryunosuke might have not accepted the case. Right? If he, I mean, I don't actually know what happened. Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. They're trying to push this idea right now in the game that, what's his name? What's his name? That McGilded, went, they're pushing this idea that McGilded actually is the murderer. But the reality is, we don't actually know. I don't know if he's actually the murderer. Now, maybe like the next game, in the next game we find out McGilded was actually a terrible man. It's possible. But right now, I am simply advocating for the client. I have accepted the case. And it's my job to advocate for the client and to demonstrate whether or not this guy has enough evidence. It's like right now, like even if I did think he was a terrible person, right? Even if I did think he was an awful person, which chances are, based on this case, I think that's the direction the game is going, but that's kind of meta information. But based on the direction this case is going, this guy is probably a terrible person. Maybe he did do it, right? Maybe I even believe, right? Maybe Ryunosuke believes that he did it. Maybe it's possible that, that I have belief that he did do it, that he did do the murder. That doesn't matter, right? My beliefs don't matter. What matters is whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to convict or not, right? So even if I think he did it, if I take this case, it is my job to demonstrate whether or not the person has enough evidence to convict, because my beliefs are not necessarily the truth, right? What I believe is not necessarily always going to be true. I don't know if it's true. It's simply my job to make sure the prosecution has enough evidence, or if he doesn't, demonstrate that he doesn't. So, even if I believe that he did it, which I think the game's direction is saying that he probably did do it, but even if Naruhodo does believe he did it, what Naruhodo is doing right now is still incredibly unethical, saying that, no, we have to continue the case to demonstrate that this person might have actually done it. It's like, it's such, or demonstrate whether or not he has done it. That's not your job. Your job is to judge the prosecution. So, it's all Sasato's fault!
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
This is on Van Zieks. This is really on Van Zieks.
Very well. In that case, I believe we have explored every possibility in this matter. I shall proceed to my education. As a formality, of course, I am obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty.
Yes.
Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? It's not. You don't judge it by right or wrong. We're not saying he's innocent. We're saying he's not guilty. There's a difference. Come on, Ryunosuke. Get your emotions out of your actual job, the job that you are supposed to do. This is like a freaking engineer building a bridge and then saying like, well, the funding is not great, so I'm gonna half build it, and then I'm just gonna leave it there. And then people use it and it collapses, and you're like, well, I don't like where the funding was coming from. It's like, ugh. Is it really all right for the trial to come to an end now? With all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense! Your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes... What are these choices? What are these choices? What are these choices? The closing statement is so easy. Walk up to whatever podium you want to go to, given that the judge decides it, and say, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution has failed to provide evidence to indict my client," and end it there. That is the closing statement. It's not innocent or guilty. Ah! This game hurts. I'm overreacting. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, right? Obviously, I'm being silly because this is a fun anime game, right? So I wouldn't actually, if this case was happening in real life, I wouldn't walk into the center of the courtroom and go, "No, you're doing it wrong," because then I'd be tackled by the bailiff. But obviously, this is an anime game, so I'm going to be silly about it. But I don't think what I'm saying is necessarily false, right? The ethics of this entire thing. The ethics are much more nuanced than just this person's guilty or this person's innocent. Yeah, this is not based on American court. Yeah, I do understand that as well, right? I completely understand. I don't know enough about British law, but obviously I'm going to talk about ethics in a way that's kind of more general, right? So, also this game is also based on the 1870s, so I don't know exactly what was going on then too. So, but let's be real here, right? The closing statement here would simply be not the defense believes this. No, it would be, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury," right? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, The prosecution has failed to provide enough evidence to indict my client. Done. That's the entire closing statement. It's in the distant... Right. It is in the distant past, but I don't necessarily believe that just because something is in the distant past makes my ethics completely wrong. Right? I don't believe that. Right? The way I interpret the legal system, now that it has progressed maybe another 100 years, right? I don't necessarily believe that you saying like, oh, well, this isn't based on American courts and it's in the distant past. That doesn't necessarily make me incorrect, right? No, I'm not saying you made a mistake. I'm not saying you made a mistake on anything, right? I'm not saying that. It's just that, you know, like trying to like piece everything together. I believe, you know, well, my belief is that, right, just because something occurred 100 years ago doesn't necessarily make the stuff we know today not apply, right? We have to, this is a work of fiction, and we have to, you know, kind of allow it to be a work of fiction, but also make commentaries on it just for the fun of it, really. I don't know what to choose. Suspend disbelief, half suspended. I wouldn't say suspend disbelief, I would say acknowledge that it's fiction. Right, there's a little bit of a difference. I mean, for the lack of the defendant is not guilty option, I will say the defendant is innocent. And Ryunosuke will say, I want to say that the defendant is innocent, but I just can't. As Mr. McGilden's legal representative, I can't breathe. I have no say in this matter. But I'm this man's defense lawyer. There's only one thing I can say in this situation. I believe the defendant, Magnus McGilded, to be innocent of the allegations brought against him.
Thank you, counsel. Here's to you, my Nipponese friend, and the most abject closing I have yet to hear in a court of law. Order!
And there have been lucky charms! Oh, it was a grand decision to appoint yes, me lawyer, so it was a grand decision!
Oh my god, chill out, Ryunosuke. You've saved one of London's most influential gentlemen, fella! Here, have this for your troubles! I charge more than this? Excuse me? Mr. McGill, I charge 50 guineas a day. You're gonna have to pay my legal fees, so. Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? 'Tis just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was. How did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
Hot stars and horseshoes! Clovers and blue moons!
I really don't know what to make of all this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of.
Well, stinking rich are always guilty of something, you mark my words!
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted the lovely man who gave us the love.
That's right, Granny! That's right, Granny! We stan Magnus McGilded here.
Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way. I am compelled to declare a premature ending to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
Common Granny W. W for Granny. I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection.
Ryunosuke!
His conscience isn't letting him get away with it. Honestly, maybe Ryunosuke has a future as a prosecutor. Maybe Ryunosuke is in the wrong profession. I'm gonna be real with you. Ryunosuke would make a great prosecutor. Like, maybe Ryunosuke is just in the completely wrong profession. Like, the way he thinks would make a great prosecutor. Right? But like I said before, the ethics of law is very, very complicated. And, you know, we've developed that for a very, very, very long time. You know, like, if you think about when you were, like, a little kid, and you know, two people got into a fight, and you're like, oh, I listened to that guy, and I listened to that guy. That guy seems more believable, so I'm gonna believe that guy, and you now should be punished. Right? That's kind of like, that was like the very early ways of how we viewed our court system and how we viewed what is correct and what is incorrect. And slowly, you know, as as our legal systems developed, we realized that there are a lot of complications about what is considered right and what is considered fair. Right? Like I've said before, innocent until proven guilty is a very difficult concept. It's a very hard concept to master, and it's a very hard concept to implement. And you know, you're even seeing it right now. Ryunosuke is struggling with this concept right now as a defense attorney. You know, who's kind of, you know, it's his job to almost live by innocent until proven guilty, right? Yeah, he's super new to this, right? Exactly, Mystery. That, you know, it's really interesting to see him as a new guy really struggling with the concept. I don't know where he'll go here. Honestly, he might make a better prosecutor. Maybe he should study under Lord Van Zeeks. It's not even a joke. Like, maybe he would be a good prosecutor. But the ethics of this is just, he's new to the, yeah, it's really hard. It's like, you know, it wasn't until like I was in like my maybe like my mid-10s, because I'm very young. No, but it wasn't until like I was in my mid-20s where like I could even kind of understand this idea that just because a person is guilty of something doesn't mean they don't deserve certain things or certain rights or certain ideas. Yeah, this is his first actual case, and it's a really difficult one. Because this one's not just complicated, like, I think it would have been better if the case was complicated logically, but this case is not that complicated logically. It's very complicated ethically, though. And, you know, that's why we have, like, entire, like, courses and concepts around, like, ethics of engineering, ethics of a law, ethics of, you know, politics, which no politician actually follows, but, yeah, because I mean, I will say this. Us as people, we're not ethical. We are not very ethical people, right? And ethics is a very difficult idea to describe, right? Some people will say that you have to be religious in order to even have some ethics. It's like that kind of has like a really sketchy argumentative nature to it. But it's like, if we want to allow this concept of fairness, we have to acknowledge that fairness is not a pleasant thing. You know what I mean? You know what people say, right? Freedom of speech, everyone believes in freedom of speech until people say something you don't like, right? That's the very basic idea, right? This guy should not have been, like I said, right? This is why I don't believe any defense attorney should ever have a murder case as their very first case. Because this is intense stuff. I mean, Phoenix Wright too. Maybe this is just his family line. This is a really difficult case. It's like you have to, as a defense attorney, kind of in order to be a reasonable defense attorney, you have to acknowledge that sometimes your defense will allow a guilty person to go free. But that's the price you pay for fairness, which is such a devastating idea to accept, especially if you believe yourself to be a good person. And it's really interesting, you know, now that I think about it, it's really interesting how almost every murder case that Phoenix has taken on, the murderer wasn't actually the murderer, with the exception of the Youngard case. But, and that's the thing Phoenix had to... Exactly! That was the one case in the series, at least so far, that that has actually been very, very clearly Phoenix is advocating for an actual murderer. And, you know, I wish we had more of those. I actually kind of wish we had more of those. I wish we had, like, advocate for self-defense. Of course, that would make it not a very fun detective game, because... Let's be real here. People like the Ace Attorney games not for necessarily the legal aspect, but for kind of like the solving the mystery aspect. But, you know, if we had like a murderer who did it in self-defense or in defense of somebody, right? Or if we had like a murderer who was coerced into committing murder. We had a murderer who was Or maybe we had someone who might not have been a murderer, but he was coerced into pleading guilty. Those are all really interesting cases. Obviously, we're doing this for the detective aspect, but so this game kind of takes a very clear stance of we want to always catch the guy who is the murderer. But I think from an ethical point of view, there's a lot of interesting analysis we can take with this case. D. Vasquez. Who was D. Vasquez? Oh, she was the Steel Samurai one. Yeah. Right, but she was actually guilty. But our client in the D. Vasquez case was the Steel Samurai, right? Except I wish D. Vasquez was innocent, because let's be real here, she's way too pretty to go to jail. Wink. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. I understand, Ryunosuke. It's hard. It's very hard for you. You know, maybe Ryunosuke should be a detective. Maybe Ryunosuke should join Scotland Yard. Now that I think about it, maybe that is like Sholmes. No, not like Sholmes. Do not be like Sholmes. But, you know, maybe defense attorney just isn't the right job for you. Because, you know, Ryunosuke almost did this on a whim. He went to London and he's like, oh, well, my friend is not a defense attorney. My friend is now dead. I know his friend's will is too hard to ignore, right? But maybe Ryunosuke should join Scotland Yard. Or whatever detective agency Japan has right now. You know, maybe this just isn't the right job for you, Ryunosuke. She only did it in self-defense as the guy was coming to kill her. Oh, Johnny, something was trying to kill her. I remember. Right. I remember that. I guess that one didn't go too far in depth. Or Jack Hammer. Jack Hammer, I hate it. Yeah, that one didn't go too far in depth, huh? Now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean, if D. Vasquez was our client, that would have been a very different case. That would have been interesting. I wish we could have seen how the D. Vasquez trial played out. Anyway, Ryunosuke, I think it's time for you to stop being a defense attorney. Move on. Go join Scotland Yard. You can be Gina Lestrange's apprentice. I swear, if Gina's like, "Oi, I think I'm going to join Scotland Yard after this." We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. This case made by the prosecution was flawed. Plain and simple.
Yes, it was. I completely... I hate to say this, right? I hate to say this, but this judge, man... The judge... I guess I would not, I hate to see it, but I like to see it. The judge is very clear here. He understands. It's not the defense's fault. He says the prosecution's case is flawed. Done. Essentially, what the judge is saying, this case shouldn't have gone to trial. Right? Clearly, the prosecution didn't have a strong case, or at least not at the moment. I don't think Mana's don't worry, Mystery. I didn't actually see what you wrote. I was about to read it, but I didn't see. You said something about, like, in Apollo Justice, some client is bad, but don't worry, I didn't see anything. Anyway, what was I saying? The judge, like, the judge understands, right? This isn't like, oh, this isn't a case of somebody walking in and like making lies and something. This is a case where the prosecution shouldn't have brought this case to trial just yet. Right? I think this is something that's really interesting to talk about. I can't believe we're having an entire... You'll just depart for now. You don't have to leave. Don't worry. Unless you have to leave, in which case, thanks for coming. What was I saying? Right, this is actually really important. When the prosecution brings a case to trial, they have one chance. They have one chance to demonstrate their case, because we have a law, at least nowadays, called double jeopardy. And double jeopardy essentially, well, it's called double jeopardy, and it essentially means you can't go to trial for the same thing multiple times. Unlike the defense, right? In theory, if the defense loses their case, they can attempt to appeal, right? They have multiple chances to appeal and so on and so forth. But for the most part, the prosecution has one chance. So if they come in with a weak argument, that person walks. That person walks free. So long story short, as a result, if the prosecution comes in and says and makes a case that's kind of flawed, the judge will be pretty harsh on them, because that's it. That's your chance, and it's gone. So, yeah. I mean, Van Zeeks might be feeling bad about this one, but let's be real here. He had a difficult trial ahead of him too, so. And maybe Van Zeek's, perhaps Van Zeek's was, or the prosecution, you know, I'm doing a lot of speculating here, so perhaps Van Zeek's felt pressured to bring this case in as quickly as possible. Maybe he was afraid that, what's his name? McGilded would flee to Ireland or Dublin. Right? So it's possible that Van Zeeks felt a lot of pressure to bringing this case to light as soon as possible. Because if not, I mean, this guy has a lot of money, right? He could have probably just left the country or something like that. You imagine the judge can understand Ryunosuke? Hopefully. Hopefully. But yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so I can't, I know I was blaming Van Zeeks, but I can't entirely blame him. I don't know what the prosecution situation was either. Law is really complicated, guys. And not just like, you know, things like contract law and like stuff like that, and like, or like copyrights and all that. Though that's difficult enough in and of itself. But like, you know, actual criminal law, that is like crazy difficult. Like, in order to ensure fairness and accuracy, and you have the pressure of trying to bring the case in, and you can't take too long to present a case, otherwise that's unfair to the person who is sitting in jail waiting to be tried. So there's a... I like this case, man. I really like this case. Because it brings to light all the difficulties. And it doesn't really talk about them, but it implies them. It implies all the difficulties of criminal law in this one case. So I think it's really good. Yeah, I know. I mean, blame Ryunosuke, blame Lord Van Zeeks. Yeah, we're all being silly, except blame Susato. She freaking Susato. And to think I wanted to adopt her. Don't bring your daughter to work. Anyway, sorry if I'm ranting, guys, but I really enjoy talking about this type of thing, like especially when we can go off in like different directions and talk about different topics that we normally don't get to talk about. And hopefully you guys like enjoy this as well. Like, I'm not saying everything I say is like perfectly correct. I want you guys, once you hear what I have to say, go look up and try to understand criminal justice for yourself if you want to. Or, you know, try to learn about what is considered ethical. Like, I've told you guys several times, one thing that I've always questioned, and I still don't have a perfect answer for, is why do we even have a jury? When, you know, I always say, like, if you want to build a rocket, you ask rocket experts or rocket scientists. So if you want to, you know, try a case about guns, shouldn't you be asking gun experts? Why? Or like, if you want to try a case about assault, you should be asking combat experts or trauma doctors who understand this stuff really, really well. Like, you shouldn't, it's like, why are you asking just regular old people? And there are reasons for that, because experts come in as witnesses, but I still don't have like a perfect answer for that. It's one of those things that I can accept, but it's difficult for me to understand exactly why we do things the way we do. Like, I can accept that obviously we want to be tried in front of a larger group of people who have basic common sense, but you know, like, this stuff is complicated. So I can't necessarily blame either side. Or McGilded. Partially because I still don't know what McGilded did. I'll blame him when there's actually a fact. Yes, he actually did do it, because here's the cutscene.
If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
Okay, so the judge is with it, man. The judge is totally with it. I can respect this judge, because he kind of understands how the court should work.
My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection.
Please, Ryunosuke, I understand it's difficult for you. My sincerest advice for Ryunosuke right now would be to just let the trial play out. There's not much you can do right now, unfortunately. Let the trial play out, and if your ethics are really conflicted and you really don't know what it means or what you want to do moving forward, why don't you talk to Strongheart to see if you can do your study tour on the prosecution rather than in the defense. Right? That is my sincerest advice for Ryunosuke right now. Obviously, it's not going to happen because Ryunosuke comes to a line of defense attorneys, but that would be my sincerest advice to Ryunosuke. Maybe talk to Lord Strongheart. Maybe you can take on the maybe you can study under Lord Van Zeeks instead. Maybe you can study under whoever Scotland Yard detective is. Who would be the Scotland Yard detective? It's clearly not Lestrade. Or whatever. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so it is unfair. It is unfair. You're absolutely right, Ryunosuke.
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to offer judgment.
I disagree with that. The jury still should say guilty or not guilty.
What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Speaking of which, I am a free agent right now, so if you'd like me to be your personal lawyer, we can work out a bargain. I generally do 50 guineas a day, but I can bring it down to 40 if you want to hire me for long term. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you would like to hire me, I'm a very experienced lawyer. My brother in Christ, you couldn't ask for any other defense. Exactly. He couldn't have asked for a better defense because there was nothing left. Yeah, McGilden must have been a bit peeved, but for the most part, it worked out for him.
Do you mean to tell me that this has been a grand waste of time?
And the missus is going to eat my behind. Oh, that actually sounds all right. Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGilded.
I wonder if Van Zeeks will hold this against Ryunosuke. He probably might, but I mean, if there's any disappointment and Van Zeeks knows how the law works, he'd probably be disappointed in himself, and let's be real, he probably is. Oh, good grief! You've more to say, have you?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then. Hey, Rainbow, you missed an incredibly long, close to, 2 hours. 2 hours of ranting about legal ethics from this one stupid Irish man. Making a Naruto pose.
Oh yeah.
Pots and gold and rainbows!
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Magnus McGilded.
Woo! Confetti! Yo, fireworks! Not inside the courtroom!
I can't believe it! This is an outrage! He should have examined the evidence more! What are you talking about? The man's cleared. He's been innocent. He's innocent, obviously.
They got the Disneyland court. They got the court in Cinderella's castle. With the courtroom pandemonium for the second time, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, and ostensibly a victory for us. I mean, I'm gonna be real here. Ryunosuke couldn't have asked for a better. I mean, let's be real. He probably could have asked for a better first trial, but do you guys remember what Do you guys remember what is it called? Lord Strongheart said? He said something like what is it? I don't remember what he said, but he says something like, if you're if you're dedicated, or if you have the resolve, he'll be found not guilty, or something like that. He said, trial, you go now, 30 minutes. I mean, after, but before that. But if you remember Lord Strongheart, he said something like, with the right resolve, you'll find him not guilty. Fundamentally, the victory was handed to Ryunosuke. Maybe Strongheart knew that the case against Magnus McGilded was really weak. Maybe it's possible. And that's why he gave it to a rookie defense attorney, because like, there's pretty much no way you can lose this. Like the case is not strong at all. And if you lose this trial, then you're just an awful defense attorney. You know, it's one of those, maybe it's one of those cases where like there's literally no way to lose because of how weak the case is, and if you lose it, then you're definitely not fit to be a defense attorney. Maybe. That certainly was a long trial. It literally took 2.5 streams. Yeah, it was. At least he can be a lawyer. Maybe he should be a lawyer for the prosecution. I'm not sure if Ryunosuke can mentally handle being a defense attorney. Your first ever trial on your foreign soil. And your first victory was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mr. Sato, thanks for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. I know it's hard. You're going to feel conflicted for a bit, Ryunosuke. But you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You did your job. You did your job well. You literally broke no laws. Ethically, you're cleared. Your conscience should be clear. You've done nothing wrong. I get it. It feels bad, but just let it go. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about it, actually, and that's gonna happen. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't this wrong? No, it's not. That's all you can do. I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? You know, what is this? What is this? Where was it? This is actually really hitting me hard, man. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like Law and Order. But, well, we didn't have enough time, right? Yeah, but we're also the defense, right? If we didn't have enough time, do you know who definitely didn't have enough time? The prosecution. So it's like, well, you can't blame yourself for that. It's not your fault. You actually did your job pretty well. We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. I would rephrase that a little bit. The sole aim of the defense is to demonstrate that the prosecution does not have enough evidence to convict. But close enough. Some people can't help putting their emotions in their job. Maybe Ryunosuke should be an actor. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did! Mr. McGilden! And that girl's with it, darling, do you need a father? I can, we know a man, his name is Sherlock Holmes. Look at this freaking cutie pie! Oh, she doesn't deserve to be an orphan. Oh. Do you know what things I really like? And you can call me weird for noticing this, but like, if you can see how her pants are like 4 sizes too small for her, and as a result, she pulls up her socks to cover her ankles and stuff like that. I really like that little detail. Like, her shirt seems like too large for her, and like, I really like that. It's like, it kind of really captures the fact that like she's just doing what she can to live. She needs new pants. We'll buy her a nice little dress later. We'll buy her a kimono. Well, it seems the stories are true. What stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. Wait, was that canon? It was canon that they released fireworks. It was literally canon. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yeah. The confetti in the older games. Yeah, I mean, it is honestly, if being a lawyer included background music and confetti and fireworks, I'd be a lawyer. Wait, Gumshoe made the confetti? That's canon? Oh my god! I heard it was a sight to behold, and sure it was! And I have to thank you, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. No one's taking me Lucky Charms! I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What are you saying, fella? How'd I walk out of there a free man? I don't think it was thanks to me as much as it was down to you and your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, are you? I must say, you had me in the ashtray in the head there once or twice. You're guilty. But you're young and headstrong. It is water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Is that you pay your attorneys? You know, I can drop my price a little bit. I usually charge about 200 guineas a day, but I can drop it down to 100 for you. The price keeps going up. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose. You can't unsee him as a leprechaun. He is a leprechaun. What do you want? Dropping the price for a rich man? Yeah, I usually charge 500, but I can do 250 guineas. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters into the hand and sort out any wee details. And oppose. They'll see for what it is, they'll get the truth. I have absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages and the taxes I pay. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your Mr. McGilded, I have just started a new firm, and I would like you to be my very first customer. It would be such an honor if you would allow me to defend you so that none of these ruffians in Scotland Yard can ever do wrongdoing to you again. As we know, the police, they claim that they're here to defend us, but are they really? They're just here to steal from the rich and proper gentlemen like you. And as a man who can see honor and respect and courtesy, I believe you need someone to protect you. That's me. I'm here for you. I am here for you, sir. Oh, no. I mean, I definitely want to accept that much. Be wise, you're a humble No! What are you doing? 1,000 guinea pigs! Think of all the fuzziness! Something about honest job. I mean, he's an honest, upright, straightforward, fine fella. Well, if you insist. No, 1,000 guinea pigs. No! Please, Naruhodo! You could literally open your own law firm with that. Just gotta bring the musket. And now we've defended Mr. McGilton. But have this still in all, you deserve a reward. Magnus McGilded. Everything's ready, sir. I'd like you to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? It's sooner than I was led to believe. Hope it's not inconvenient, sir. Or changes to the schedule. Mr. McGilded, allow me. I do not believe my client here has any obligation to follow you, sir. We were given a schedule, and this is the schedule that we will be sticking to. If you have any changes, you can bring them up with me, his lawyer. I'm invested. I've gone from ethical law to advocate for our client to the dark side. Give me money, I'll do whatever you want, buddy. My bad, didn't mean to get full. No. I like the philosophy. And just because we talk back and forth and I say something that might not that might not be aligned with something that you say, that doesn't mean like I'm arguing or I disagree with you, you know? There are lots of different ways to approach this idea, right? And, this stuff is really complicated. So it's like, it's important to have like 7 different opinions, 20 different opinions coming in at the same time. So, no, don't say my bad. Don't apologize because there's nothing to apologize for. $20 is 20. I mean, yeah. 20 guinea pigs is 20 guinea pigs. Well, I must be making tracks now. Someone's gonna assassinate him. Okay. He's gonna walk into the courtroom. And it's gonna be completely dark and empty. And then we're gonna, hey, buddy, what's going on here? And then suddenly a spotlight appears. There's gonna be freaking Van Zeeks at the very top of the stairs.
Magnus McGilded.
It's time for the inspection. Mr. McGilded, please stay safe. I don't have money, I just got here. I need someone to fund my trip. Sorry, what inspection? They're going to examine me lucky charm. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're gonna examine it again? You felt like you approached it incorrectly. Yeah, no worries, no worries. If it makes you feel better to apologize, I'll say I humbly am very happy that you're here and hanging out with us, so no worries at all. Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now, but as an upstanding member of London society, I do my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. Okay, we'll talk again later. Hope you have a whale of a time studying here in Great Britain. I hope he doesn't hold it against me. It is... Okay, I'm calling it now. The final boss is probably going to be Mr. McGilded. No, the final boss is McGilded and Strongheart working together to, like, assassinate the queen. Okay, that's the final boss. Do we ever meet the queen? There he goes. Free man. You mean Queen Elizabeth? Yes, she's immortal, so she's been alive from now all the way. You probably do, you don't know. Some of the names are the same, some were changed. Queen Elizabeth. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Yeah, you guys see how, like, the pants don't even go up to her waist? And she has, like, suspenders just to keep them up. And, like, you can see, like, the patch on her elbow. Like, the shirt is clearly, like, 3 sizes too big for her. Van Zeek's wasn't. Gina's wasn't. Right, Gina. Wait, Gina's. Some of the names were changed. It's the same. Some of the. But Gina's. Right. So this is G. Lestrade, I assume, right? I'm not tripping when they call her Lestrade. She is supposed to be Inspector Lestrade, right? From the Sholmes books, right? Except she's now an orphan and a girl. Yo, whoa, chill. Oi, don't move. Whereas I want to say, get a move on, but it really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? Holmes was slightly changed. You're a grown-up. Oh no, but I'm now. She's now half Irish, half Cockney, half London. This is so hard. You're grown up. Wait. Okay. Bloody metal. Bloody metal. And I ain't grown up. There you are. Oh my, who is this adult? Who is this freaking cupcake? Oh my, who is this adorable little child? Who is this sweetheart? Oh my god! She's adorable! Okay, what? Who is this lost lol again? Wait, how do we? Naughty, 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 running off like that. How do we? No, that's Brett's. That's kind of like Brett's voice. Naughty, naughty. No, but she clearly has a very high pitch. Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Okay, I have to make her sound childish too. Some kind of picnic. Where's this little girl now?
I'm taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial one of my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
She now talks.
I was looking forward to the trial one of my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Oh my god, what the frick? What the
Oh, you want to play with me? Oh, you won't beat me.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normally smoke grenades are so dull, wouldn't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, so I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke at all?
I took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon.
What is this kid on about? She invents smoke grenade launchers? How old is she, like 4? Tell her, what, I have no idea what this girl's talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory.
What for?
To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician.
What? You mean, say sorry?
You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before.
An adult? I don't listen to adults. Oh, Gina, do what she says, please.
Come along then. Follow me.
Fine, have it your way.
Oh, good. I knew you want to do the right thing in the end.
I'm fairly what she wants to do is not get shot by that massive gun of yours. Oh my god, can I give her a hug?
We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm sorry for all the fuss.
I'm gonna have to pitch her down a little bit lower later. Well, she was alive. She's the ancestor of Mew. Oh god. Well, do you think we ought to be on our way now too? Yeah, you're right. But where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place. No sooner than we arrived in London, we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. They literally left all their luggage at the front desk. And they let Lestrade. Oh my god, all our stuff is gonna be gone now.
I was originally planning to spend the day in search of lodgings, but at this late hour, I'm afraid we might be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If worse comes to worse, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
Isn't it snowing? I'm not sure about that. Wait, what? Is it? No, it's November, right? I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. Exactly? You should have taken the money! Oh, it was February? Oh. Yeah, I hope we get to adopt all the children. Specifically the orphans. What is it? Gina Lestrade. She deserves better. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for a study tour was over by the first day in London. However, as soon as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What the? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. Oh. This can't be.
Oh, what did you do? This is why we don't have fireworks in the courtroom! Who was in there? Who was in there? Did the... Is this why he's called the Reaper? Because if he doesn't get the guilty verdict, he kills the... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. We got a frickin' Jack the Ripper in the courtroom. Oh my frickin' god. And who was phone? Then who was phone? Frickin' frick. He did have a scar. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Hearing Japanese in a British accent. Magnus McGilded was Kosni Megundal in JP. What is Konzi Megundal? Is that a Sherlock Holmes character? I don't recall that one. The Clouded Kokoro. As the Japanese would say, Owarida. As the Japanese would say, Konnichiwa. Male strong heart was heart vortex. What? The Clouded Kokoro sounds like an episode of a name for Nyan Nyan Sugar. Like, give me some Japanese to say in British, as the Japanese would say, Dai Suki. As the Japanese would say, Kawaii Desune. give me a few more. The Chaotic Kokoro sounds like a machine from a studio. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, and then we will start the adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Do the one. I don't know the One Piece intro. All I know is, as was stated in the One Piece intro, yayo, dream it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some water real quick and then we'll get going. Hello, everybody. Ugh. All right. Where were we? Hello. Sorry, I was really out of it for a second. Oh, wrong one. Okay. We're back in this. I need to get back in my British. I never actually got into British mode. All right, hi, British. I believe in magic, and that magic is Daniel Radcliffe's abs. Daniel Radcliffe with a beard is my kink. Daniel Radcliffe could high-key choke me, and I would love it. All right, I am in British mode. All right, and the adventure of the clouded Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening.
What the frick?
To the young lady who collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's the next day. Right, 18th of February, 19th of February? You added fries on ranch? What are fries? I've never heard of fries before. I only know chips.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace.
And with all the gas lights twinkling. Oh, I just realized they don't have electricity yet. Everything runs on gas. Steam engines and trains and oh my goodness.
They were brighter than the day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Burya, I wasn't going to waste a single... Naruhodo was like starfished on the entire bed. Like, oh, yeah. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you could only dream of normally. Except... when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Hold on, I'm looking this up. How many pounds in a guinea? Okay, a guinea was worth £1 and 1 shilling. Because a guinea was close to a pound, putting prices in guineas made the price seem less. A price of 39 guineas might look like about 39 pounds. Interesting. So a guinea was approximately 1.1 pounds, which means why the frick did you not take the 1,000 guineas? How much money did they have for their study tour? Oh, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting, I just launched in without thinking. See, that's excellent marketing and excellent branding.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for an entire year.
Oh my god. Wait. So £3 would be an entire... Yeah. I mean, they were incredibly rural at the time, so... fair enough. And then... anime appeared.
I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
You know, no, that's good. Susato, cry in front of the clerk and look up with puppy dog eyes, and maybe he'll cut the price in half. I really am sorry.
Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days!
They're screwed. They're so screwed. Oh my god. So their stipend is approximately what, 30 something, let's say 40 pounds. Oh my god. Wait, 40 pounds in today's time is what? 40, let's just say $40 in, let's say 1900 is what today? So that would be approximately $1,500. Oh my god. They are expected to live off of $1,500 for probably an entire year. Oh my god. That couldn't even get you rent for a month in Los Angeles. Holy. London is scary.
Good morning to you at this early hour.
Right, he talked very slow. Oh, yes, well, hi, I won!
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey.
Look at this man. Tell me he's not final boss material. Come on. Susato's amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
He's DILF material. Let's be real here. There's a reason why Susato isn't afraid of Lord Strongheart and Ryunosuke is. Because if Strongheart wanted to punch someone in the face, it probably wouldn't be the lady. Yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you, sir.
And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern location.
Thank you very much, sir. So, I'm a lawyer now. Yay!
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Another case already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it yet.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant is not at present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. I hope you don't kill me in a fire later. As for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Please, I hope I stay alive long enough for me to pay you. My lucky charms are burning! I can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded was really innocent. Oh, if Mr. McGilded was really innocent, Mr. Naruhodo! It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth, and the trial ended. Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. Oh my god. Oh my god, he really did. He actually died. What the frick? I was joking. I was legitimately joking. Hello, pigeons. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Look! Suits of armor. Are we gonna hold trial for his death? Oh my god, that would be a nightmare. I don't understand! What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Yes, of course! It was the scene of the crime in which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Yeah, Mr. McGilded is dead. Precisely. Wait, was it actually? Is that actually why he's the Reaper? Does he actually kill the people he doesn't convict? Are we gonna have to? Oh my god, I know, I see it now. The final boss, we have to defend Lord Van Zeeks because people think he's a murderer. Oh my, oh. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No! How could such a thing have happened? Fireworks. It was the fireworks. I've constantly told them not to set off fireworks every time there's a non-guilty verdict, but they continue to do it. How many times have I told them? That is being investigated as we speak. But already. The rats shoot through the fireworks again. The morons! The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilded. That's awful! The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. How could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Wait, if you guys remember, there was someone pounding on the door on the inside, but they said the door locks on the inside, right? Which means someone very deliberately locked him in, right? Because McGilded, when he was during the case, they said that McGilded locked the door from the inside, which means the locks are on the inside, which makes sense, right? You don't want to lock the door, have the lock on the outside, right? Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded didn't mention going back into the courtroom. Well, I must be making tracks now! Time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus. Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. Ooh, oh. So maybe it was, not Strongheart, Lord Van Zeeks who set something up. Yeah, who set him up? But Then who was Mr. McGilda talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded. Anyway, British court.
I have a cane. So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't... I mean, it was... Wow! Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience has steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. God damn it, Susato! She is so good at PR. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. She totally has, like, the PR ready. She's like, I believe that the proper ascertainment of this system is, to be the great benefit of our small country. Have a great night.
Wow. Susato has a way with words.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right one. Susato, what the frick? This is why Sholmes has such good PR.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
Ants-Man. Most advanced in the world, huh?
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
Yeah, he said something like that. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict.
Evil laugh.
Is something funny?
No. My apologies. However, the fact is, you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, you see, my friend is dead, and I used his soul in order to contact the,
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much, at least, is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I have prepared a new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What's he going to say? What was he going to say before? Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case? Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? Can everyone read Ryunosuke's mind?
That is to say, no one has died as yet.
Wait, a non-murder case?
And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow! Yay, I hate my life. Ah! Is everything alright? Yeah, I'm just a little confused. Yesterday's trial was, well, I've been wondering if I really cut out to be a lawyer. Like I said, go be a prosecutor. Mr. Naruhodo, I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial. Ah, yes. I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh. If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right. Here we go again! Yay! Can everyone do this snap point thing? You wouldn't want him to be automatically guilty, would you? Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. That is why I speak so slowly. There is but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time you mentioned 23 hours, you said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked on something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would be interested to hear. What exactly do you mean by that? Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, the cousin always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how to, the greatest justice system in the world worked, and so he could change hours in Japan, and now that he's gone, I would like to work towards that myself, and there's another thing, Another thing. Continue. On the way here, in the steamship, he said something to me, there's something very important I have to do, something very important. And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me before he died, and I suppose he would have done it if he had made it to Great Britain, and you're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what is this all about? Mr. Asogi never ever once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been? Does he kind of look like Luigi? Mario! How long has he been there? So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. There's something very important I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew, honestly. He never told me. Anyway, we better talk to the detective. Yes. You're right. Okie dokie. It's me, Luigi. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What is he holding in his hand? Are those chips? Is he holding fish and chips? Does he have a fish and chips bundled in newspaper? That is the most British thing I've seen in so long. Yo! Yo, look at him go! Yo, he's got infinite fish and chips! That is a portal to the fried fish dimension. Can we trouble you? I don't want to just give him, man, Mario, what do you think? I want to... Oh, but he does kind of look Italianish, even though this is a British game. Man, yeah, what do you think? Man. Okay, that's it. That's what we're going with. Yeah, what do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? Oh, what's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out of your hand, you know? Man! He's back, baby! But Susanoo said that method was foolproof! Look at him go! Or we could go with a standard Italian accent. I'm a busy man! I'm a very busy I'm a busy man! Man, I'm a very busy man! There's a crime scene to investigate, but here I am, giving to the likes and talking to yo! I'm so sorry, sir. Can you imagine what the other officers will be saying, huh? Man, I haven't seen Gregson anywhere. Gregson! Nah, he's too busy with those bigwigs these days, man! All because some bumpkin here that's a John from a country I never heard of! Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters! There's no need to rip us apart as well! I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Meh. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. Meh. It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. You frickin' simp! Piece of frickin' crap. I'm pretty too! Unbelievable! How did you do that? Yes, so, Lord Strong-Eyed has asked me to fill you in on the case. Name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson. It's Gregson, guys! It's Gregson! It's Inspector Gregson, guys! I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Susanoo? Does this detective's name mean something to her? We're gonna get one infinite fish and chips. It's a secret. It's a family secret of mine, man. You should read a few of the short stories. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Susanoo, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Ranst magazine. It's the true meaning of bottomless fries. That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? I mean, that's really not that incredible. He kind of sucks.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, man. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, see? But he does come up with the goods from time to time, man.
Oh no, he's slowly becoming an Italian mafioso. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector. You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving out compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now, man.
That's great, isn't it?
Huh. I have to admit, and to start with, I was real well flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Man, see?
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street, man, see? People always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under my breath, I'm sure, man.
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in these stories. Fame's got in his head. Stuff like that, see?
Do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't exactly catch what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs are eggs.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear. Perhaps sudden rise to fame does change people. So about the case. So, the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned.
Nothing to tell, really.
What, did he just put those fries in his pocket? His pockets will get greasy.
As far as we're concerned at the yard, couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means, as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling that you're right.
As a young woman walked along the pavement at Briar Road, where she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital on con-
Oh wait, so it's not murder, it's attempted murder. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind? Suppose you'd have finished whoever it was off with a Susato takedown, would you? That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo! But yes, I would have destroyed them.
Brace yourself, you've angered her. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, criminal was arrested, man, see? He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest.
So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. No way to help the bloke now. Why not? Simple. Prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Baroque Van Zeeks.
Well, butts. Oh!
Sounds like you heard of him then, man.
Yeah, we're very familiar. Believed to be the harbinger of death. The Reaper of the Bailey. Tell me about Mr. Reaper. Lord Barack Obama Venti, who we faced in court. Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he? I know when Van Zeek stands for the prosecution. They are called the accused as sacrificial lambs. You can't stop him. You can only take him down with... What is it? A silver bullet? No, that's a werewolf. A medium rare steak! The Reaper of the Bailey is his nickname. Yeah, a steak, medium rare. I suppose he's earned his, that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Man, you sure are a dunce. Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. Heh! And what of it? I think... That means even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No. You really don't have a clue, do you, meh? What do you mean? Bloke's dead. Meh, see? Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, now can you? Meh, see? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. That's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works black magic. I have a good long think about that if I were you. Meh, see? Are we really supposed to believe that? Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. But isn't your newspaper infinite? I'll be heading back to the crime scene now, man. We're still carrying out a few investigations. Please stop eating too many fish and chips. It's bad for your health. It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place. It's a portal. His stash at home is running out. That's correct, madam. If you head over to the holding cell, you can meet me, and you can meet the criminal himself. You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. He'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, he'll show you the way. 53. Thank you. Wait, in the Holmes books, or in the Holmes books, isn't Lestrade Gregson's superior? I think. I don't remember. But I'm just having like a hilarious time imagining this like 17-year-old girl ordering this man around. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall yesterday's trial, I can't stop from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent... No, it doesn't even matter! Come on! Come on! Come on! Okay, alright, let's grow from this. The man deserves a fair trial. I've already started to be confused between Holmes and Sholmes and Herlock and How's it going, Sorrow? You can imagine he'd be shaking like a leaf in his cell. I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events. I'm not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is, but I'd like to try. So I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? Of course not. I'm not helping you. Oh my god, you're... After all, I am your judicial assistant. Ooh. 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 Investigation time. Ooh. We haven't had an investigation since chapter 2. I'm taking our money and leaving. Yes. Okay. Ready? Okay. We are legal team. All right, let's go. Briar Road or the prison? Let's start by prison. Man, these prisons suck. Local prison, cell 9. So, these are British prison cells, huh?
Oh, they're ghastly. Feels like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Apparently our client is in this cell here. It's so dark in the back. I can't make it out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell. Show your face at once. Oh!
Am I a cat as yet with no name?
Calling me by a number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
I'm not sure I can keep up that voice for the entire trial.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? I'm afraid. I'm scared. This guy uses alliterations. He speaks English. We're gonna have to be educated to talk to this guy.
What do you think's going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? The tirade of complaints was in Japan. That wasn't Japanese.
Watashi wa Watashi wa Nihonjin da.
What pronouns would they use in this era?
Sisha.
No, that's the samurai pronoun. What the frick? Hello, sir. He said you need context. This is a Japanese author. Oh, is this a Japanese author? Hello, sir. Excuse me. Is he speaking Japanese or English? She's got it.
They're all around, hiding. I know they are.
Oh, he's Japanese.
They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Is he insane? So, could I ask you who exactly?
You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost.
A ghost? Can we leave? Can we leave? I know he's a fellow countryman, but some fellow countrymen are lost. I love how he's twitchy. We mean you no harm, prisoner, san. Are you Japanese by any chance? Oh, look at him. I think he misses Japan. This beyond my wildest dreams. Hello, sir.
Forgive me for that outburst before.
I'm so sorry. It's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, frightful fixing foreign man.
So hear a sweet, sentimental tone of compatriot's voice in damp, dark hellhole. Was most monumental, moving moment.
You good, buddy? Okay, someone mentioned he's a Japanese author, so I suspect this is supposed to be like a 4-character phrase. In a kind of like in more formal literature. I'm not for formal literature, like classical literature. In Japanese, 4-character phrases are like very critical, not critical, but they're very commonly used in all sorts of like formal literature in Japanese. So most monumentally moving moment, they probably turned it into an alliteration to keep the idea that these are like 4-character phrases. They're like a very specific style of Japanese. So I suspect, since somebody said he's an author. Who could have guessed the new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese man?
What compassion, my fellow countrymen.
It is so weird. Like, I imagine him as British, and I also imagine him as Japanese, so like, but the accents are going all...
What compassion, my fellow countrymen, show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to be a foreign student.
Oh, he's a student.
Noble, nurturing, never failing Nippon.
Okay, that's going to be the running gag.
A first-class lawyer.
Dab. He's totally dabbing. Alright, I think there's been a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, sir. I will. I shan't stay sullen and silent. Ha ha!
Not quite sure what he means, but he seems happy.
Yeah, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I'm Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba.
I am visiting student sent by government.
Right, they did mention that there are quite a few visiting students that are going to the UK or Britain or, I mean, somewhere else in the world.
Notably notorious, named Natsume Soseki.
This is Soseki Natsume!
Okay, now I completely understand what you were trying to say. Someone said something about he's in the office. So, for those of you who have ever studied Japanese literature, I highly doubt any of you have studied Japanese literature, but Soseki Natsume is a writer. Well, he was a writer at the turn of the 20th century. He is very famous for writing his works about the British influence in Japan. I think his most well-known work is I forgot what it's called. Wagahai wa neko de aru. I think neko de aru. Neko de aru. Yeah, that's got to be it. Wagahai wa neko de aru. And it essentially means I am a cat, but it's kind of like very like pompously or archaically like self-important way of saying I am a cat. So yeah, his famous work is called I Am a Cat, and it is a novel about a cat viewing how the culture. It's a cat, but he's watching the events of like the people around him unfold as Japan opens up its borders to Western influence, and kind of a very like it's like a satire, and it's very like a self-important style of like seeing like let's see what's going on in the world, and wow, this is strange and this is unique, and so it's like a cultural commentary on I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like a cultural commentary on Japan's changing culture as they became more and more westernized. And it is an incredibly, it might be like the defining, it could be like the defining piece of literature that kind of defines that era of like the early 1900s that that tried to capture this like cultural uncertainty of Japan. So he's like very, very, very important in Japanese literature. Soseki Natsume. I don't actually know much about him. I know about his works. I don't know that much about him as the author. So yeah, seeing this notably notorious named Natsume, chances I'm like 99% sure that he's in the Japanese in the Japanese translation, he's probably speaking in four character phrases, which are kind of the style of writing. Anyway, yeah, this is Soseki Natsume, super important dude. Does he own a cat? Soseki Natsume-san. What an wow, Ryunosuke, what the frick?
Call me Soseki, please. I am a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. Something of a nom de plume. No, nom de plume? You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruhodo-san. You know English.
That wasn't English, Usato. No. Don't be so prosaic. Much more refined than that.
And haiku? That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student oversent here by the government?
Hey, yes, that's right. Year ago, I told to go study English. First, I had suffered that misery. Now this is beyond the pale.
Suffer that misery? Do you not want to study here?
No, I mean, I had interest in Great Britain for some time, of course. But just because government tell you to do something, doesn't mean you can't do it. No.
What do you mean?
They told me to study English literature. That I understand. That's my field. But no, they tell me to study English language.
No, I totally understand him. I am much better at reading Japanese than speaking Japanese. That I completely understand. Because speaking like takes like immediate real-time processing. Reading, I can read at my own pace. So
utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable.
I see.
Only other day,
you have the same with French, yeah?
I told to send report about my first year here. I tender blank piece of paper.
Wise words on whitewashi. Wait, washi is Japanese, buddy. You must be a man of great standing.
Yes. So I'm often told.
You work well with Spanish. I often like to be told, it seems. What's the accusation against you? Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested?
I didn't do it! I didn't commit atrocious murder!
You're very interested in any country's customs and tradition. I mean, they are very interesting, especially when they intermingle and intermix.
Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. Woman not actually die, did she? But she's stabbed with knife right before I...
Right before... You mean you saw the attacker?
No. I not see anyone.
What?
If I see a person who did it, you think I'd be locked up here?
Seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why that city woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's curse of London. Incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient.
So Soseki was there at the scene, but didn't see the attacker? It's vital that we find out more about the case.
It was a cursed evening. Just after snow had started to clear with heavy fog. I've been to bookshop to buy book. I on my way back to a cursed lodging.
Sure, the bookshop wasn't a curse, too.
As I walk along a cursed pavement, I make out silhouette of another woman, where green overcoat was, just as I go overtake. She suddenly let out little stream and collapse onto cold floor and stone of feet.
How terrible.
I called out to women, but she did not move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Slight exaggeration there, perhaps.
I'm terrified. I have to get away. I ran as fast as they carried me back to a cursed lodging.
That's not good.
They say it was shameful, I know, to run away.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance?
Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of fair hair English and young woman? I diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
This is too real. This hurts, man. This hurts. I have trouble talking to people too. Ah! It's so unfair! Soseki is innocent! Justice for Natsume! I see. Unknown to Soseki, a young woman. At the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Anyone pass you?
Regrettably, apart from myself and woman, I not see single...
Then how do they know it was you? What? No one? Great. So the victim was unknown to you? There was no one else on the street at the time? That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Yeah, how do they even know it was you? What do you mean, Susato? What's the conundrum? Well, if Soseki-san just told us what's true, there's something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim, there was no one else at the scene, and apparently fled without having been seen.
I did!
Yes. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit?
Ah, you! What did you...
Can everyone see my inner monologue? That was in blue. Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oh, perhaps I thought a little. Oh my god! It is canon that Ryunosuke, his thoughts get projected to the world. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. I was thinking, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, nobody at the scene. How did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place. Oh, she's right!
It was him! A ghost! Great detective! Shoves! Great detective! I shall never forgive man as long as I live. Haughty lamb, self-proclaimed greatness.
Brash! Big-headed, body be gone!
May you curse until end of days. Her look shows.
I knew it! I put my heart and soul. That is how much I hate this man. Mr. Shaw! I didn't expect to hear that. The Larry Butts.
It was morning after nightmare in food on pavement before me. No and sliver of hard cheese when some men sudden burst through door. Started shouting at me. This the police. Put weapon down.
That was a cheese.
Yes. Thin sliver. Yes. Hard. But I was not eating weapon.
Disgusting dietary discrimination, devils. You clearly had a trying time yesterday morning.
There he was, middle of policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat.
Was Alice in Wonderland written yet?
That look shows.
It's actually just Herlock. He's English.
I find out he famous name in deduction here in London.
1865. So if this was 1870s, like you guys say, then yeah, okay. Oh, and he would, of course, you'd know because he's a literature, English literature.
Yes, sir. Great detective, very well known. Over a sharp mind managed to deduce whereabout apparently. He thinks I knife wield man to man. Me, weak, stupid, kitten of man.
I wonder what great deductive process led to his conclusion this time. Do you mean to say Mr. Sholm's deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That'd be really most unreasonable.
But, thing is, I was thrown into panic when they barged in the way. Hey,
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I terrified, I trembled, hey, and they kept throwing question in impossible English.
Fiendish, foreign, flim-flammery. Well, we are in England. You can't blame them for questioning you in English.
Hey, good point. But the mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but not know what to say. Hey, I kept repeating like, yes, I do, and but no, so sick. Do you own a knife? Yes, I do. Do you enjoy murdering women? Yes, yes, sir, I do. How do you feel now that she's dead? I'm fine. Next thing I knew, I in Manakyn. Before I knew, I throw in here.
Oh dear. That's hardly surprising, honestly. I'm fine. Well, he's not fine now.
Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Esquire. Oh no, you can just call me Naruhodo. When we're speaking English, simple Mr. is more than enough.
Yes, sir, alright. They really got me this country, poison mine. But please, I beg and defend me court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You do, won't you? Please.
I wonder how good Ryunosuke's English is. I mean, if he's defending people in court, he can't be that bad. But I wonder if like people need to slow down their English for him.
Why so hard to say yes to me?
Thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
Student.
I've defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I have a 100% win rate. I don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. You know what? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he can be a defense attorney now that he's really forced to question it. 1 for 1! Yeah, if only this man came with a translator. Man, I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a locum lawyer. It's... Jeez, this guy has no confidence.
Honorable mark of defense, lawyer from great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my lover, my best friend.
Keepsake. Hi. I know exactly what to say about me.
What do you mean?
Lawyer. Oh, British defense lawyer. Will not defend me.
Why? Because he's Japanese. Why else?
Same reason you note before. When happened. Only victim myself ran away from scene of crime. Not the fool. I know it looked like I'm culprit.
Must be very hard for you, Suseki-san.
I student from overseas. Just foreign nobody. Someone not to trust. I hear open laughing about me. Earshot, no compunction. Any trial for this man will be waste of time. And they say, of course a foreigner did it.
That's racism, man. Racism.
They even have gold to say, man doesn't understand half of what's said anyway.
That's awful.
They wrong. I study more English than half policemen on street. Travel halfway around earth to learn people, country, and great history. But no one wants to listen to man with strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I entrust the fate to someone who can listen to me in native tongue. You do it. Could you? When I look at I see what you've been through.
It's Suseki, it's just that. Give me a little time. do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We'll investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find clues, it'll give us a better chance, I'm sure.
Yes, I... Arigatou gozaimashita!
Gozaimasu. I guess it's not past tense.
I hear! All alone! Wait for you! Welcome, student! Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
We should get going, Mr. Naruhodo-san. If he stays here, he won't be able to write a book about a cat. We have a case to prepare for.
Will Soseki write a book about a cat or a dog? Will Herlock Sholmes ever stop ruining people's lives? Find out next time.
Okay, why the heck is Soseki Natsume in this game? What the frick? Writers thought it would be fun. I mean, it tracks. What is it? Let me see when he wrote his book. Soseki Natsume. The first thing that comes up is Soseki Natsume, Ace Attorney. Let's see, Soseki Natsume. Okay, so he was born in 1867. So if this was the 70s, he'd probably be no more than 15. And rockin' mustache for a 15-year-old, let's be sure. But yeah, let's see when he wrote his thing. Notable works. Kokoro is Japanese 14. There it is. I Am a Cat. I think it's in the 1880s. Then maybe he's in his 20s. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, once again, fictional timeline. I know they're preparing for the Great Exhibition. That was like 1850s. Great Exhibition, London. Yeah, so the Great Exhibition was... was there another exhibition in London, maybe? No, but I mean the Great Exhibition, they were talking about like the Crystal Palace or something like that. The Crystal Palace was built in 1851, I know that. But maybe, I mean, once again, there were a lot of great exhibitions that can be flexible with the timeline. It's interesting to see Soseki Natsume here. Yeah, but I don't know. Did he go? I don't actually know that much about his life. Did he actually travel to the Britain? Let me see. He was a scholar of British literature. Yes, that is true. He entered Tokyo Imperial University. Although he preferred Chinese classics, he started studying English literature at the time, feeling it might prove useful as English was necessary in Japanese college. I don't know, but it's nice to see little few cultural references here and there in this game. I swear to God, if he has a cat. Yeah, so I'll tell you guys. Actually, I forgot. Never mind. Oh, no. He actually did go to London. I'm looking at this. The Japanese government sent Soseki to study in Great Britain as Japan's first Japanese English literary scholar. He visited Cambridge, gave up on studying at the university because he could not afford it in his government scholarship. Oh, interesting. He studied instead at University of College London. He had a miserable time in London, spending most of his days indoors, buried in books. His friends and family feared he might be losing his mind. Well, it tracks. He lived in 4 different lodgings: 76 Gower Street, 85 Priory Road, 6 Flodden Road, 81 The Chase. I mean, I can imagine, what is it, as a foreign student, first of all, you have to study. Second of all, you don't really understand the language that well. That must be really hard. Like, foreign exchange must be really hard. Like, I think you guys know that at one point I was planning to do some, like, overseas study in Japan. You know, to an extent, sometimes I think about maybe it was a good thing that I didn't, because I might have been really, really lonely there. I probably wouldn't be streaming for a while, probably for a year. I would probably have... it'd be really difficult for me to have conversations with people. Yeah. So I really feel for him, honestly. He wrote this about the period he was in London. The 2 years I spent in London were the most unpleasant years of my life. Among English gentlemen, I live in misery, like a poor dog that had strayed among a pack of wolves. Jeez. Oh boy. So apparently he went to UK in 1900. So he became a professor of English literature at the Tokyo Imperial University, where he taught literary theory and literary criticism. Oh, that's interesting. Literary theory. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Anyway. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading about Natsume and I just got caught up and I was just like looking at it. So I there was like a minute or so that I just wasn't talking. I was just looking at Wikipedia. But yeah. Anyway, maybe I'm rambling. This stream is now 8 o'clock, so I better get going. I need to get dinner. Yesterday I didn't get ramen, by the way. I got Mediterranean food. And I think it's time for me to get ramen this time, because now we got a Japanese man that we got to defend. And of course we're going to defend him. And we're going to murder Sholmes. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I'm going to get going. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. If you have any quests for me, I'll see you all next time.